Hi Rhoda.
Hi Jay, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
So we've got a chance now to have 10 minutes or so thinking about your specific case and thinking about it through the heart of the matter. What you've discovered and what you're hoping for.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking with you about Mrs. Davis,
Right.
and her family and her desire right now to go home. She's in hospital.
Right, okay. Is there a sense of an outcome you have with her and her family?
Yeah, so she came into hospital about 6 weeks ago, having had a stroke. She's a kind of carer for her husband, Mr. Davis, and he's registered blind. He can see partially, so he can move around and things like that, but she had a stroke, and she's been in hospital for, as I said, for about 6 weeks. She's now medically fit to be discharged, but there's an issue now around how do we help her achieve the desire to go home.
Right, and you're she's looking to go home?
She's looking to go home as soon as possible now. She has a close family around her, and they're all chipping in. So she has 3 sons who live. One lives very close by, and he pops in all the time, and she's got another one who visits once a week. But together as a family, they've been contemplating this part of their life for a long time. So she's just turned 80, and they've just made a lot of changes to the family home, the structure of the home, in order to be able to make adjustments so that she can live there as her age and her physical health deteriorates. This has just come slightly quicker than they were expecting through the stroke.
It sounds like they all have a shared ambition that she stay at home with her husband as long as she can. Yeah,
she's fiercely independent, very focused on her family and wants to spend time with them and wants to be back home with her husband. So they're coming back and forth. We've had some good conversations with the family, and her desire is to be home. Her husband, Mr. Davis, he really wants her to be back home. He's been looking after himself, and he's managed.
Yeah.
But as I say, he's partially sighted, so he's been doing the cooking and he's doing things. But I think she wants to be back home and to supervise and make sure he's doing it properly. She's in charge. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's an important role for her, is to look after him as well.
Yes, absolutely. For her to look after him, but for her also, I think this is a real adjustment for her now to be starting to think about her own physical health and how she can manage day to day, with the support around her that she's got. So she's got a granddaughter who's trained to be a nurse actually, and she's in her mid-20s, and she goes around quite a lot and helps out. So she's doing ironing and some cleaning, but she's a real positive resource, and she's got a really close relationship with Mrs. Davis.
Lovely, and I get a real picture of the family from your description. How would you expand on what you think about their strengths? What have you noticed about each of them and how they function together?
Yeah, it's amazing because they've got a real mix of skills in there. So one of her sons is a builder, and so he's been doing the physical, changing the fabric of the house to make it possible for her to get around. So for example, they've fitted a walk-in shower. They now have a ramp that goes down to the house.
They've done all that themselves?
They've done that themselves, predicting that at some point their health will deteriorate, and they want to be at home. So that's, they've made those changes because they absolutely certainly want to be at home. They're close to each other, so they see each other, like I said, she sees her granddaughter every day and one of her sons every day. And yeah, they just want to be together.
Yeah, that's lovely, and it's a real solid family anticipating the potential deterioration in people's physical health.
Yeah.
But they've thought all that through and done as much as they can, so it seems clear that that's their outcome, all of them. They want to be together. Yeah. And there's loads of strengths you've described.
Yeah, lots of strengths. I think one of the challenges though is that although she's got some strengths, I think there's still some worries about her how mobile she is getting around the house.
Right.
And so there are some fears that she could fall. But they've done, they put riser on the toilet seat. they've changed the shower. She was talking to me about what will happen if she falls over, almost creating her own safety plan.
Right.
And thinking about duvets on the floor is one of the things that she'd heard from a friend. But I don't think they were there yet. Her husband, obviously, he's physically quite strong. So between them, I think they've got the skills to be able to look after each other, and if they need some extra help, the ability to phone and ask for that with people coming in back and forth.
So in terms of the priority risks, is that the risk everybody identifies, all the other professionals and the family, that the priority risk is that she may fall or be less physically
I think
safe
so.
in the house?
Yeah, so there are two main things really. One is the potential to fall, and the other is just those transitions at the beginning and the end of the day. So whether she can get getting herself out of bed at the beginning of the day, washing herself, dressing herself, and then the same when it comes to going to bed at night.
So what are the family saying about those key moments that could potentially, you're saying that we don't know yet, but we might discover that those are difficult moments for her?
Yeah, we don't know yet, but that's the way the family are describing it. And so she wants to be at home and really wants to be able to test out. The family want to say, we want a home and we need to try this. And luckily, like we said, her granddaughter will be comfortable if push comes to shove and it's needed in the short term to be able to come along and help her grandmother with those things.
Right, so that's not a permanent solution, but temporarily, if there are issues morning and evening, granddaughter would step up. And I suppose that gives you the opportunity to see how things unfold when she goes home.
Yeah, to test that out for them and to get a sense of how manageable is this on a daily basis. Because sometimes we can worry, the worry about whether it's going to go wrong is greater than the reality of the situation. And I think they feel confident they can do this.
Yes, and they've talked to you openly about that. Sounds like there's a lot of trust between them and you at the moment. Yeah,
I mean, I've just spent time just listening. And they're determined as a family. Even the one of the brothers who lives in South Africa, he still managed to join in on the call as well, just to give his, to get a sense of perspective about what everybody's hopes and expectations are around this.
I'm struck by how much you know about each person and a real sense of the family. I can almost see them, and I can imagine her in the kitchen with her husband. It's been a trauma and a fright for all of them, but there's a real sense that they can pull together into this next phase now.
Yeah. I think,
is that agreement around that she should go home now under those circumstances?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you asked about one of the priority risks, it's not a risk, but it's a fear that she stays stuck in hospital. And that's absolutely what she doesn't want to be. So I think she's medically fit to be discharged now, and so the question for us now is, are we okay to support her to go back, and based on the information that I've got, the conversations and the visits, I'm thinking that I want to support that as soon as possible.
And who is most confident about that this is the moment for her to go home?
She is.
So she's the most confident?
She's the most confident.
Who else would be?
Mr. Davis wants to be back. I think the main one then is the granddaughter. She's very confident, and the sons as well. So that between them, I think there's not really any dissenting voices in that.
Lovely. And the staff who've been caring for her on the ward?
Yeah,
how
I think
are they
it's the
feeling?
staff in the ward who are a little bit worried, but they don't get the opportunity to see her at home and see the family in the home setup that we do, so they can just see her in the actual hospital environment.
Yeah, and they may be a bit more nervous about what she could achieve at home.
Yeah.
So who needs to be involved from here? What are your next, what needs to happen?
Yeah, I think we would like to get some support in for some of those transitions at the beginning and the end of the day. So whether she can go there in the shop, she can go home with the support of the family, with the long-term plan to assess and to see if she can manage and then bring in some additional support if that's needed.
Can I, sorry to interrupt, just thinking about, would she be open to that next step if extra help was needed in the future?
Yeah, I think so. It's a realistic conversation that we've had, and we just don't know. We know enough to go. People are around and they want a home, and they say they can help her and they feel confident, and she feels confident in that.
But she's open to the possibility that there may need